With an interest in working as a producer assistant, I have recently applied to internships such as like USA, CNBC, and NBC. So I thought the best person to interview for this would be actually my older brother, who just signed a patent for his own production company. I think that I'm not going to be too surprised with the information that he gives me. I know that this is a really tough field to get into, and you need to devote time and a half to always. So I'm very interested to hear what he's going to say about this. What's your name and the name of your company?
My name is John Conklin, and the name of the company that I'm a co-owner of is Novelty Hat LLC, or Novelty Hat Production.
What do you think it takes to make it with a production company?
What is it?
What do you think it takes to like work for a production company? Like, what would you be looking for if you were hiring someone?
Well, especially since we're like a very independent, small production company, we'd be looking for somebody who's probably early in their career, somebody who's willing to work hard for like less pay than a fully functional production company would be. We're looking for young people who are very talented and willing to work hard. People that we could like not just work with once, but work with again and again, and eventually become part of a team. Because it's important to have like a good crew of people.
Yeah, and do you think it's harder to make it with like a smaller production company than someone who would maybe become like a production assistant for a company like NBC or USA?
I think it's easier to get in with a smaller production company. But you would give you access to doing jobs that you wouldn't be able to do on a bigger shoot. So you might be a producer. You may take on producer responsibilities on a more independent shoot for a smaller production company, and then you're learning more about the business than you would be if you were just on a big shoot getting coffee as part of the machine that is like the media content machine that churns out content. Like you could be a small part of that, or for a smaller company, you have the opportunity to like show your ability to like take on more responsibility and therefore like work your way up quicker.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to someone that wants to get into the production business?
I don't know if my advice would necessarily be to just look for a smaller production company. Like, I don't know if the smaller production companies are necessarily better than bigger production companies, but what is the question? Advice for anyone trying to
get into any type of like producing business, like to be a production assistant, to work their way up?
My advice would be to surround yourself with people that are doing that similar thing, and to always be working on other people's projects, to meet new people. You have to really enjoy the work, and you have to prove that you're, more than anything, you have to prove that you're a reliable person. That's like half the battle. If you're reliable, then you could easily get a good job in the film, television, entertainment world, because a lot of people just don't have that basic skill of being reliable and coordinated. My other advice would be to find somebody that's already working in some capacity and just shadow them, like whether it's an internship or um, just like an apprenticeship or something. Like just find somebody that's working in the business and just start working for them because they will teach you tricks of the trade and they can help you get your foot in the door because that's what matters sometimes more than anything is just knowing somebody, as opposed to just not who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Thank you.
True.
After talking to my brother and hearing about what it takes to get into this industry, it's really interesting to think about how he now has a small production company, which I feel like is a lot more dedication and devotion, and it's a lot more based off of the art of film. Whereas a company that I would like to work for is more something like Universal or NBC, where you're working as a production assistant, and although you usually do start out lower in the company, it's easier to work your way up and grow, but it's not as much of a commitment as if you were working as a production assistant for a small company such as Novelty Hat and working on like films and indie films and commercials. It's a lot different and it makes the field much broader. I enjoyed talking to him about this and getting to hear his perspectives on what he thinks that someone my age should be focusing on if they had an interest in getting into this field.